This is Mike Cook, and here's the deal.
We're back with another episode of the Here's the Deal podcast, the Max Baker Jr. story, and this episode is a special one as we are joined again, the very first repeat guest.
Hey.
Mike Cook.
Yeah.
Wow. You see how
All right.
see how bright it got?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Hey, the sun broke from
Whoa.
the clouds. Mike is
Whoa.
here.
Whoa.
My God.
The clouds have parted. Mike is here.
I should have brought my sunglasses.
I had no idea it was going to be this bright. I'd have brought mine too.
Hey, well, listen. It's so bright.
Got to wear shades.
I got to wear
The
shades.
future's so bright. And who did that song? Quick.
Corey Hart.
Yep. Mike is a star of the screen these days as your reality show just wrapped up season 1. Is that correct?
That is correct. Ride of Your Life with Courtney Hansen on MOTORTREND. It wrapped up season 1 back in the spring.
Back in the spring. Now, are you
Have you not been able to
season
go
2?
to work because of the strike?
You know, because reality TV is all non-union.
Okay.
So that's how they can do reality shows, because
Turn his gate off.
you're not really using actors,
Okay.
supposedly.
Makes sense.
The farther I get in this, the more they're like, well, you're still reality, but you've done this and this and this. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? You are rowdy, and you've done this, and this, but what we're getting ready to talk
Reality,
about...
not rowdy.
I am rowdy.
Oh, you are rowdy.
What we're getting ready to talk about is going to be legendary.
Yeah,
So, Mike,
no, it is.
the very first reality show or TV show that you were on was Monster
Monster
Garage
Garage.
with Jesse
Correct.
James, correct?
Correct.
So what was next after that?
First, it was Monster Garage. I did 2 episodes of that. I was on the very last episode that was the All-Star Series finale. The only episode without Jesse on it. Then it was American Daredevils. I was riding through fire at that point. They filmed that in Seattle, Washington, and I crashed, but it looked cool. You can find it on YouTube.
So let me just say
No,
something.
wait, hang on. It was the tribute to Evel Knievel was first. Then it was American Daredevils. They were pretty much filmed on the
The
same year.
MTV Jackass tribute
Yeah.
to Evel Knievel.
So that's the one where you rode through the wall of fire.
No,
right?
that's the one where they duct tape his hands to the handlebars, and he does
Backflip.
he world famous for doing a 2-man backflip
Yep.
with Travis Pastrana, correct?
I did. So I did the very first 2-person backflip with Travis. That was in Stillwater for the tribute to Evel Knievel.
Was that at
Jackass
Matt
did.
Hoffman's land or was that Kenny Bartram's land?
That was
Guy-
so it was Guy Cooper's, but he had sold it at that point. So it was another guy's actual physical property, but you might as well say it was Guy's,
Gotcha.
which is
the Godfather.
Kenny Bartram's uncle. And then Matt Hoffman was there
Well-
because he's here in town.
Right.
To me, Guy Cooper's a legend, but Guy Cooper wouldn't be the legend if it wasn't for his brother named Chuck Cooper, who
Yeah,
I used to
you're
race
right.
against.
Uh-huh. You
know,
and Dad
the-
raced
The
against
dude,
Chuck.
dude rode a Penton, and he was badass.
Yeah.
He's smooth. He's more an enduro guy. You
So
know?
I actually saw him ride probably 2 or 3 years ago at a vintage race.
Oh, wow.
Dude still got it.
I bet. You know?
So then it was the tribute to Evel Knievel, and I did the backflip with Travis. I did a 113-foot jump with Sugar. That is a good way to tear your back up. But, hey, I lived through it. After that, not very shortly after that, they had me come out for the 24 hours of Jackass takeover of MTV. That was pretty cool. I got to see all the stuff that we had filmed on the Jumbotron.
That's
so I got
cool.
to stand in the middle of Times Square at the MTV studios and watch the 2-person backflip, and I'm actually got a picture of me pointing at myself.
That's cool.
It was sweet.
That is cool.
That's
then-
awesome.
Then it was American Daredevils. Then it was America's Got Talent.
Which you went pretty far in, multiple episodes
We
of
did
that.
2 episodes. It basically got to where you can't have fire and explosions inside.
Radio City
Whatever.
Music Hall.
Right. And I told all the guys that. I said, you realize that we're not going to go any farther than this. And they're like, no, we can. And I'm like, they're not going to let us catch Radio City Music Hall
He
on
laid
fire.
it over.
I did.
But,
So, check, I had
but the
messed up.
jump with the school bus was cool, man. Like,
That was real
That
cool.
was cool.
So I'm the one that bolted all the seats into place. And the guy goes, are you driving? I said, no. He goes, well, who put this real plush seat right in the middle that's up a little higher and more cushion? And like the seat belts are brand new and good. And I said, that's my seat. He's like, put it right in the middle of the bus. And I'm like, yep. I said, and the guy that has an arm and a leg that can fly off with a hook, he's next to me because anything that flies off is going that way. And it was Joey Chetwood's, like, nephew. Or something
really?
like that. Yeah, it was part of the Joey Chetwood family. Got to see almost up Heidi Klum's skirt on that. That was pretty sweet.
I knew you were trying.
I wasn't even trying.
I don't believe you, Mike.
I can
It's
honestly
Heidi
say this.
Klum. It's
So
Heidi Klum.
it just so happened in Pomona, we did it at the horse race track that's right there by the fairgrounds. And there's these steep steps that go like from the parking lot up into the seats of the stadium. And they're like, okay, break, let's all go eat and reposition. So I'm just like walking and she's standing there and I'm like, here, go ahead. Thought nothing of it. As soon as she started up the steps, I was like, I am the luckiest person on the face of this earth. All the people behind me were like, dude, you suck. Then after that, it was the show with Courtney and my buddy Will and Jackson and Caleb and Jesse and Dusty and all them. And
Which isn't far off from your day job, your real job.
it is exactly like my day job. Like, so I work for Steve Cook Creations. It's my dad, award-winning hot rod shop that we've
Is
won.
his birthday today?
My dad's birthday is today, 64.
Happy birthday, Steve.
Happy
64.
Happy birthday, Dad.
Yeah, go, Dad, go, Steve. He's so does me.
Yes, we are the same age.
And let me just say, the hot rods are badass.
We're actually on crunch time right now on one to try to go to the Grand National Roadster Show in Pomona to compete in the Strong Anchor Award. And yeah, like there'll be $1 million cars hitting it up against each other, like trying to prove you're the best builder. Like you win this, you're builder of the year.
Wow.
So how many of them leave when you guys pull in?
Actually, from what I heard showing up this year, yeah, it's all the heavy hitters are showing up this year.
Cancel your hotel rooms now.
Hey, listen.
Mike Cook is on the way.
His dad, Steve Cook, ain't playing around.
No,
You know?
sir.
Now, it's pretty cool. Like, Dad and I actually went to a show in Bartlesville last weekend and a show in Tennessee called Triple Crown of Rotting.
That's when y'all drive the cars, right?
We drive the cars in Bartlesville. At Tennessee, we didn't. But both times, there's all these big name people just like my dad there. We're just all hanging out and chilling. It's fun, you know?
That's-
Like,
yeah.
and then-
I mean, your dad is like the Mick Jagger and Keith Richards of car building.
Damn right.
You know?
So check this out. Like, you know, your dad went to Texas a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
He parked right next to a red Cadillac. The
Yeah.
guy that built that Cadillac was on the TV show with me.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and he got
Yeah,
to
my
hanging out.
dad calls me, you know, and he's telling me there's
Yes,
this,
we were on the road.
yeah,
on the,
there's
on
this
our way to
badass Cadillac next to
Texas.
he goes, this guy has a big garage, you know, and you know, but the cool thing about that is here's my dad with this award-winning car that your dad built.
So I will tell you how my buddy Will Posey of Big Oak Garage, he saw. So Will is my age, roughly,
Right.
a little bit older than me, but he, my dad is one of his inspirations that got him into all
Wow.
this. So he sees your dad with a Steve Cook Creations hats on and goes and talks to him.
Right.
And then Max tells him, hey, Steve built this car in 96. So I get a call at 8 in the morning. I'm all hungover because I'd worked a mini bar golf deal. And I'm
They had you a mini bar?
Yeah. I'm going to go get it. They said we could have it.
Let's go get
Let's
it.
go.
Max, you know this. It's on the rider.
No, hey, listen. You
had
need you a
me-
mini bartender? I got one.
I have my liquor license.
Do
now.
you?
Yeah. We're in.
Hey, Danny, we need a job.
So after this reality show, and I've seen several of the cars that you've been a part of, the builds and stuff, and you and I have emceed shows together,
Right.
and we've been to lots of the same shows
We
where
have.
we were just there as fans watching whatever
Ask
band
Billy.
and having some drinks.
That's Billy.
But you were cast for the upcoming movie, Martin Scorsese movie, Killers of the Flower Moon, which was based off of the David Gran book.
Right.
Now, this movie is being released in theaters on October 20th,
Correct.
and it is an all-star cast. First of all, Mini Mike Cook is in it.
Right.
Right.
The evil
Represent.
midget himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, give it up for Mike.
Along with Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro, Lily Gladstone, Brendan Fraser, and it says Jesse Plemons.
I think Sturgill Simpson's in that movie. Jason Isabel.
He is.
Uh,
I'll tell you who else is in that movie. Kenny Bartram.
oh, really?
Yep, he's a stunt man in it. Like I think he's the one that takes the punch right after my scene.
Oh, wow.
Because we got to hanging out, and he's like, "What are you doing here?" And I'm like, "What the hell are you doing here?"
Yeah, that's got to be two,
You know, but
yeah.
two strange
You know-
sightings on set.
Not only is that movie going to be legendary and great, but it also employed a lot of people from Oklahoma.
Over $200 million budget for this film.
You know,
It's going to be unbelievable. Guaranteed it's going to be nominated.
$800 million.
800. Wikipedia's wrong.
I looked up just the movie itself and the budget, and it said $800 million.
so.
Wow.
Tell us the process of how you got picked to be in the movie.
So I was actually still filming the Ride of Your Life with Courtney Hansen, and I got this email forwarded from a friend that they had found a casting call for little person, midget, however you want to say it, and they were like, "Hey, you should do this." And I'm like, "Man, I'm in Atlanta. I'm filming this TV show. I don't have time. I don't know if I can physically pull this off."
I remember you coming to me
I
and
don't-
going and talking about it.
Yeah, I was like, "Max, here's the deal. What do I do?" So,
Now, okay.
Go for it.
So did you know what it was for?
yes, it had a
Okay.
description. And
Did you know it was Martin Scorsese at the time? Because
When
that,
I
name
first-
carries a little weight.
Right.
You know?
Well, when I first looked at it, no. Because all it had was a description and a movie. So as I'm there and I kind of half-assed fill out the stuff that they asked for. Well, I did exactly what they said. I took some pictures, sent it to them. But I didn't tell anybody. Only a couple people on set knew, and it was Caleb, RJ, and Jackson and the fabricators on the TV show. They knew because we lived in a house together. So I told them, I said, "Hey, I'm the next day off. Y'all need to disappear because I got to do this Skype deal, Zoom, whatever." And so just in the little rent house, Airbnb, I did my stick, and they said, "Okay, we're going to call you back here in a few days." I'm like, "Okay." And they called me back, and I said, "We'll do it at this time. I'll be at lunch on the set." So everybody's way over here, and I was notorious for just eating at my desk on the show because I could keep working and filling out parts and answering emails and fighting with people on budgets and all of this. So I just sit there and eat by myself and keep working. Well, all of a sudden they noticed I wasn't just like on the phone with one of my parents or one of my buddies back home. Now, I'm in Atlanta, and they're wherever they are doing this deal. And all of a sudden, I'm getting up and doing lines, and I'm hollering, "Make it rich, make it rich." So the producer, the line producer of the show, he comes over, and he's a real cool guy. He did, what'd he do? Ice Road Truckers. He's done some cool shows. And he comes over and he says, "What in the hell? Are you auditioning for something?" I said, "Yeah, come here, I'll show you." I said, "Something ain't going to get me in trouble." And he goes, "If it's for a movie, absolutely not." And he looked at it and he goes, "You don't know anything about this movie, do you?" And I'm like, a little bit. I know it's a book, and I know my mom read it, and it's about Osage Indians. That's all I really know. He goes, "It's a Martin Scorsese movie, dude. Step it up." And he's like, "If they call you back again, we're using our cameras," because Courtney wasn't even there that day. "We're going to use our cameras and make you a good artist."
They were polishing your demo.
So
You don't
then,
understand, Mike. We've got to use all the good shit for this, buddy.
So then, like, when it came to, like, full body shots and all that, like, they're like, "Just use your phone and send it to us. We want to see what you look like. Like, we want to see what 4 foot tall looks like compared to shelves and normal stuff." So then, like, the camera crew, they're all getting into it, taking pictures and stuff. Like, it was rad. So
you had a support group from the
From
start.
the word go.
Hell yes, anybody who's making anything with a video camera ever wants to be a part of a Martin Scorsese movie.
So
Exactly.
Then,
Regardless if you made it from porn to reality show, you still
Martin
want to be a part
Scorsese
of a
in.
Martin Scorsese production.
I mean, you know.
So are you on good terms with him? Is he Marty to you, or is he still Martin?
They call each other that. I only really talk to him for just a second, and I'll get to that in just a minute.
Okay.
So, time goes on, we have to go pick up this truck. Same 3 guys, me, Jackson, Caleb. So we go down to Silicaga, where Jackson's from, and get this
And
truck.
Marty wants to ride along.
Well, he's in Oklahoma filming at this point. They've already started filming by this point. And I'm starting to see on my phone that it's popping up, Oklahoma news, obviously. I'm from Oklahoma. So then we go pick up this truck, and we stop at this barbecue place. And I'll never forget this, dude. This barbecue place is good, too.
Where was it?
Yeah, it's Silicaga, Alabama. Don't ask me the name of it. I just remember it probably tasted better because of the phone call I got. So we decided to
Works
eat
every time.
with Jackson's dad, and Jackson's dad's real cool. Richard's badass. And we're sitting in there, and my phone rings, and I can't hardly hear. And I'm like, "Hey, let me go outside. Hang on a second." And I go outside, and my phone was way screwed up at the time. So I'm like, "Hello?" And they're like, "Is this Mike?" "Yeah." "Can you be in Bartlesville, Oklahoma, May, blah, blah, blah?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Okay, you got the part in the movie." And I'm like, "I did what?" And they're like, "Yeah, you got the part in the movie. We see that you have a beard." And I did. I had a big old beard that time. And they're like, "Don't shave it. Don't comb your hair until you come see us." And I'm like, "Okay." I have not had at least sideburns since I was 19. I looked like a little kid. I was shaved like him, even more. I mean, dude, they cut my hair. They did makeup and then put sunscreen on that was tinted and wrote it all down. So I'm like,
Yeah, they got to get it right for reshoots and everything.
So
It's
they
got to be
do it.
exact.
They do this like 2 weeks before all this. So in the middle of this, that night, so then I go back to Atlanta to start filming the TV show again, and the chick I
Looking
was
like a little
seeing-
boy.
Well, that was the day I got the phone call. I still looked just like myself. Then, like 2 weeks later, I came back to Oklahoma and did all that. It was like party down for the next 2 weeks between me and all the TV crew because they were so excited, and so was I. Like, the chick I was seeing, she came over and did all my measurements for me so I could send it
I bet she did.
Oh, she did.
Yeah, I bet she did. checked and double checked.
Yeah, I should have filmed that one. Monty's so gonna kill me. So I come back to Oklahoma, and it just so happens the weekend before the week that they want me to go up there to size and try on the clothes and all that, it's the Starbird show.
Oh, no.
I drive straight from Atlanta to Tulsa, straight through, no stops. One stop, Barber, racetrack, in Alabama. Stopped and peeked in the museum and left. So I get there, and as soon as I get out, there's Daryl Starbird himself. I didn't think you were coming this year. They said you're filming. And I said, well, 2 weeks I'm filming in Bartlesville for that movie. And he goes, I'm glad you're here, and gives me a hug. I'm like, now this is
That's
rock
legendary,
stardom.
bro.
Yeah.
Legendary.
The Daryl Starbird.
Yeah, he's nice. I've done a lot with him, like on car stuff.
The
But
best car shows ever, bro.
I was the celebrity guest last year.
Hot rods,
I know,
hot rods,
man.
hot
I
rods.
was all excited.
So I get up there, they do the makeup deal, and they set it all out. The chick writes it all down, do the hair thing. Dude was cool. I go in there and I start putting my clothes on. Well, I forgot that you wear your pants like way up here.
Way up high. Yeah.
So my pants look like SpongeBob pants and suspenders. The suspenders are this big and the pants are like square. And I'm in there like, dude, I screwed up. Like, I shouldn't have been messing around so much while we were making these measurements. And the chick comes in there and she goes, you having a hard time? And I'm like, yeah. She goes, put it up past your belly button, dummy, remember? And I'm like, oh, yeah, cool. Fit perfect. So they do all this. They send me home for 2 weeks. I just work around the shop, hang out with my dad. And by then, I'm shaved and hair's different. So I get up there, and they're like, okay, this day is going to be rehearsal day. Sweet. That was when I got to see what the set looked like. Holy crap. I'll send you some pictures to put on the deal. They shipped in a train, a full-blown steam-powered train.
Period. Correct. Train.
It came from Virginia City, Nevada.
Wow.
You can ride the train today.
Oh, it's still there?
Well,
Well,
they
it's in
they
Virginia
probably
City.
used it there, and they probably
Oh.
rented it for
Oh,
the
I
movie.
got you. That's an expensive prop.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Not only did they ship an entire train and cars in, they shipped in and built train tracks, a building that was nothing more than an outside shell of a brick building. They put a roof on it and made it look like it had doors. It was completely gutted inside because that's where I hung out and like ate my steak lunch and talked to my friends.
How was catering?
Oh, it was sick, dude.
I bet it was top notch.
Yeah. So they used this Scorsese. What I found out, because I stayed up there a week, and the hotel I stayed in, all the main chefs and main makeup people, and all of them people stay in this one hotel, and they kind of hang out with each other. They're always the people that do Scorsese movies, if they're available. And they're like, listen, if he likes you, he'll use you in other stuff. And I'm like, oh, all right. game
Uncle
on.
Marty.
Yeah. So, like, I show up, and I'm talking to DiCaprio because we have to talk to each other in the movie. And at this point, we're just kind of chilling, and they're resetting everybody. And, I mean, there's, like, hundreds of people they got to reset. And me and DiCaprio's, like, the only ones with a chair, just chilling. I'm like, dude, this train's neat. And he tells me some of the backstory. And it's like, man, that's cool. I build hot rods. He goes, I noticed your shirt. It's had on a Steve Cook Creations shirt. I said, yeah, here's what I build. And he's like, man, that's cool. And he told me about his Duesenberg and about travel trailers that he's into. Like, we connected, you know?
That's cool.
Because he is a car guy, like a
A
vintage
little
car
bit,
guy.
A
you know.
little bit. Like, he's not full-blown, like, but he
He
is
likes
a car guy.
like Duesenbergs, like really
Yeah.
rare, weird.
And I built one before. I told him all about it. So, finally, we do that, and that's all fun and good. And I just kind of go tour around Pawhuska and stop at some little bar and call my people and, like, you ain't going to guess what I did today. But then, we had 2 days off, and they're like, try to stay by the hotel. I'm like, I'm in the middle of Bartlesville. Like, this ain't gonna last long. And it didn't. But I went and hung out with some friends that I had that lived up there. It was real cool. Finally, it's time to shoot. In typical fashion, I was running late and running hard down Highway 60. I did not get caught by the cops because somebody else was already pulled over with California plates. And I was saw that guy rolling in 15 minutes after me. Like, that's right, buddy.
Running from the law.
So I get there, and they're like, okay, we'll come get you. It's kind of muddy. Be careful. And I'm like, all right. They're like, come over here where all these trailers are. I get over there, and they're like, here's yours. And it says street hawker because that's my part. And this whole deal, you're talking about having a team of people that hand out flyers.
Right.
That was my part in the movie, is I'm walking up and down the train line handing out flyers because in the 20s, that was your only way of advertisement.
And they were actually called hawkers.
Yeah,
Yes.
street hawkers.
And back
And it was a paid position. People paid people
yeah.
to do it.
And Hawker was a newspaper guy as well.
Yeah.
The other part of it is, and what was you hawking? What was the flyer of?
So I actually have a copy of the flyer. I was so nervous. It's a little bit wrinkled because I snuck it out in my sock. So I was like, I'm going to jail for this, but I'm good. So
They didn't
That's
check
my
inside
guy,
your socks,
dude.
huh?
That's my guy.
So I
never look
have
in
a
my
copy of
socks.
it at the shop, and it's an advertisement for oil wells. Like when you could just buy them and go put them up in your backyard. That's how.
You can't do that now?
I don't think so.
No.
Wasn't that like black market back then? The flyer?
Well, no,
It was like the
just
Wild Wild
regular.
West,
Yeah.
though. Pretty
This
much.
It was pre-OSHA.
This was, by far. So, I mean, it's basically the end of the Wild West meets the beginning of the world as we know it today.
Right.
I mean, there's cars and stuff around, but they're still pretty primitive, Cars had only been around about 30 years at the most. And so the Osage Indians were so rich that basically people were looking at them and they're just blowing money like no tomorrow because they don't care if the car runs out of gas. We'll just go buy this one and get on home.
Because they found oil on the Osage land.
Right.
Right.
That
And-
was the whole deal.
In
Everybody,
like
Well,
1920 or something like that.
And, down there in that area, Tulsa, Bartlesville, all that was thriving because you had the Osages there. Then you had, what's the area down there
The black-
for Juneteenth?
Black
in Tulsa?
Street Market.
Huh?
The Black Wall Street.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Black Wall
Black-
Street.
Black Wall
yeah.
Street, right.
Well,
You know-
wasn't there at one time, wasn't Bartlesville like the oil capital of the,
Yes.
of the world?
Yeah.
They had like
This
the biggest
happened from
refinery or
that.
something there.
Like,
Because all the major companies, their headquarters were
Didn't they have Phillips there for a long time?
Yeah.
Or Conoco?
Phillips,
Conoco, it's still there.
Yeah.
Kerr McGee was there too. wasn't he?
McGee was there too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually went to the Phillips Museum, which is at Little Rock Wildlife Refuge. That's where the car show was that I went to last weekend.
Oh, that's
You
cool.
can go in the museum. They invite like 350, 400 cars, and it's like real traditional hot rod, like
Wow.
pretty sweet. But anyway, so I get on. They put me in this room, in like my own little trailer. I'm like sitting there, and I'm like, this is real cool, but it really sucks. There ain't nobody to talk to in here.
You need an entourage.
Yeah, I'm
A
used to that.
posse.
And I'm used to that.
I'll
know,
be
but-
Turtle.
Yeah.
I'll be Turtle.
So I'm in there and I get my clothes changed, and I mean it doesn't take me no time to do it. It's not hard. And they're like, okay, there's paperwork and you need to fill this out. I've never sweated so hard and shook so hard filling out paperwork. Because at the very end, the last question I remember him asking, how do you want your name to be in the movie, in the credits? So do I want it to be Michael Neil Cook, Michael Cook, Mike Cook, Little Bastard, Evil
They
Midget?
gave you the option.
Mini Mike Cook,
You
what,
can put- yeah.
anything.
And I'm just sitting there, And I mean, I'm literally like this. I'm like sitting here, and this is the pen, and I'm just like. So I signed it, and I gave it to him, and I leave, and I go do makeup and hair and all this stuff. If we get on set, the PA's not real happy with me because, like, now every time I want something,
She says, "Do I really have to call you? Fuck you. That's my name."
Nah, I was pretty cool, but I was being real nice because, I mean, I'm only, to me, one step out of being that person. You
Right.
know? Like, I've been around all this stuff. I don't want to be the guy that all the runners and people think is an ass because you get
You get
more
treated as
ass,
such.
you're nice.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
You will get all the stuff on the rider, no matter how messed up it is. But, so, like, the makeup chick, she's originally from, I don't remember, she told me Ardmore, I think, or Lawton. I know Southern Oklahoma. So, like, we talked about stuff, and her dad was into cars and stuff. So, like, everybody there I had some type of little connection with. I had 2 chicks that had to clean my shoes every time they got a little dirty because they didn't want it to look like I'd been
Right.
walking through the mud.
Yeah.
They took 2 girls to clean your shoes?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, that
wow.
that was by Mike's request.
Oh, I see. A right girl and a left girl. I got you. I got you.
Go, Mike, go.
So then we're filming, and now, mind you, there's not, if any, CGI in this movie. It's all, when they blow up a house, they blow up a house. When they show the train pulling in, that's a real train. I have pictures, I'll send you that too, of the big piece of machinery. It looks like one of those big forklifts, like with the big wheels, but to me it looked even bigger. And it's got this big boom that raises up and goes super high, and it's got this, who knows how much this camera costs, strapped to it, and it's a dude on the ground running it the whole time.
That's wild.
Yeah, that's like the scene in the trailers where the train's coming in, blowing smoke. I'm actually sitting right inside the building watching all that go down. And, like, I'm, like, on my phone, like, damn, check this out, man. So, there's a set producer, or set director, and he's the guy that actually does all the hollering. You know, action, stop, cut, whatever. Scorsese, he kind of just steps back and watches it from real far away, or he's in this tent, and it's all closed up, except for the very front. He's got a huge TV, and he can see what the camera sees. Then there's the cameraman, and he's got this big jumpsuit thing on, and the camera, like, straps down into it. And then there's his assistant, and he's got, like, this crazy-looking controllers with all these knobs and switches. He's got a little screen so he can see what the camera sees. So first we film it, and I'm walking with them around people and handing flyers and stopping and talking to DiCaprio and moving on. Well, then we start filming the other way. So he gets off the train, I talk to him, boom. But they have to walk with their backs to me, facing him, and walk backwards. And we don't have much room to do this in because I have to stand toward the end of where the concrete is. Then it's gravel, then the train, all within this area that we're in right here. And we got to fit a camera guy with a huge-ass camera, a guy with a controller,
It's a tight spot.
and me. And we got to, like, walk around all these people that's walking by and all this. One, till, you know, sometimes I'd be too fast, sometimes I'd be too late. This or that would happen, and I must have had some look on my face because DiCaprio came over and he goes, "Dude, you listen to direction really well." And I'm like, "I'm trying my best." He goes, "I know you've never done this before. You told me the other day." And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Don't give up. You're doing awesome." I'm like, "All right, cool. I got this now." So then we start doing it to where they're actually walking backwards and I'm walking between them. Well, the dude got too close. The 2 camera guys got too close, so I couldn't squeeze through them, but I was going to try anyway because that's my job. Well, the dude stepped on my foot with the controller, so I just shoved him into the train. Train's sitting still, so it's not like it's going to hurt him. Well, he stumbles. He doesn't fall, but he stumbles, and DiCaprio just loses it. And I'm like, oh shit, like, what did I do? Uh-oh, I'm costing money, man. And they're like, no, dude, that was funny. Like, and the dude's like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. You know, I'm good.
You stepped on my foot.
And these shoes I was wearing, like,
I'm gonna need those 2 shoe girls to come
yeah,
back.
come back
Clean my
over.
shoes.
So then we get it all done, and they're like, hey, hang out in case we need you for the next scene. Well, in the next scene, he walks over, and that's when he gets in a car and takes off, and he sees a fight, all this stuff. But I basically just hang out. And the whole time, because it's in 2021 when we filmed this, you know, everybody's still kind of got the COVID scare going. So all the extras and all the crew people, they have to wear masks almost constantly. Except for me, DiCaprio, and Scorsese. And by the end of the day, I was calling them Leo and Marty. So the set director calls me in at the very end of the day. DiCaprio says bye to me. Man, he goes, man, if you know of a car show, figure out how to get a hold of me and we'll go to a car show together.
That's cool.
Yeah, I never did find one in the short amount of time that they were there after I filmed. But then they bring me into the tent and Scorsese says, I heard that you've never done this before. And I said, no, sir, I haven't. I've done reality TV, I've done commercials, but I have never done a major motion picture.
I've never done a Scorsese film.
And he's got like a glove on. And the whole time I'm like, why does he have on like gloves with the fingers cut out? It would show he could still shake people's hands, but he could take the gloves off. And because the dude's old, you know, like, they've got him a nice plush chair.
He goes down, it's all over.
Yeah. So I get to shake his hand, and he tells me, thank you for your work. You did an awesome job. And I'm just like, thank you, Marty.
Can I film this real fast? Can you say that again, please, sir?
Can I show my friends?
This would be the best resume I could ever have. Say that one more time.
One more time.
So I get back, and I change clothes, and they're like, leave the clothes in here because we may have you a part. Another part in a couple days on Wednesday. This was on Monday. And I was like, all right, cool. So now I'm super amped. They're like, you're going to be in this bar, you're going to be playing cards, and you're going to be talking shit. And I'm like, holy crap.
That's right. I was going to say, that's right up your alley.
They end up canning that part, but whatever, it's cool.
That's
I
it.
bet.
I'm not watching the movie now. That's it.
It'll
But
be on a director's reel years from now.
when I go back and I'm changing clothes, and I get a text from some people I had met in the hotel. And it was the guys that were the electrical, like doing all the chords like this for
Grip.
for the movie. Well, I had kind of partied with this one dude because he was into motocross. And so he goes, man, our trailer's right across from yours. Come up here. They had a whole setup like a bar in their trailer. And they were smoking and drinking and we're partying and they're high-fiving me. And so finally I'm like, dude, guys, I want to go back to the hotel. I'm kind of tired. Like, this has been a lot to take in all day. And I'm like, I'll be back here in a little bit. We'll be over there. So I haul ass back to the hotel and I get something to eat. And I'm sitting down with some of the cooks and grip people and all these people. And they're like, you know all them extras that you saw today? And I said, yeah, there are a lot of them. I said, we want you to know that every one of them has been in a Scorsese movie waiting to do what you did today. And this is the first movie you've ever been in. You drew the lucky feather out of the hat if there ever was one. And I was like, wow.
That's Mike Cook.
That's when
That's
they
so
started
cool.
telling me, if he really likes you well enough, you will have a part in every movie after that. Somewhere.
I can remember us going to Hooters and talking about that, you know.
Yeah.
And plus, you know, the cool thing about it was, you know, kind of like your whole life. It's you know, you've been challenged all of it where you're not supposed to be here. You've only supposed to live this long. And, you know, you're doing Scorsese movies. You know, not only that, but I can remember you telling me, you know, I had a part where I was just handing out as a hawker, but then you got a speaking part.
So
You know?
I actually had enough of a speaking part that they sent my deal for the SAG card.
Your union card.
And I talked to some friends, and they said, dude, that's cool, but don't send it in yet. Wait till you get, like, more than one part. Then it's worth it. They go, if not, you're just blowing a bunch of money. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. That makes sense. So I still have the application. I mean, I damn sure wasn't throwing that away. You want to know what I did with it? Here's some behind the scenes of the TV show. So I flew out and didn't tell anybody but Courtney, like, okay, Courtney, I'm done. She's like, well, we only need you for a couple weeks. Why don't you fly out? Maybe I drove out. I don't remember. Anyway, I came back out, but I didn't tell anybody from the set that I was coming back. Courtney knew, and that was pretty much it. So I get to the studio, and we go get in Courtney's Camaro. And then she pulls in like she picked me up at the airport, which is all cool. It's on the show. Well, after they cut, everybody's like, what was it like? What was it like? I said, number one, our call sheet is dumb compared to this movie. You got to have a damn magnifying glass. Like, here's this, and my name's way down here, and here's all the other people that were on the set that day. Oh, and not only this, look at what they sent me in the mail. Yeah. So then they wanted to know, like, well, what did it pay? And I'm like, we better start adding some zeros to my paycheck.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Killers of the Flower Moon. I promise Mike Cook is going to steal the show.
Hey, you know,
Hey, it's an awesome movie.
I mean, to be where you are, and you know, I've watched you since you was a youngster. You're still a youngster to me.
I know.
But you know, the fact of the matter is, the drive that you have, the determination. I mean, we've been around the world together.
Man, and I thought about this as I was getting ready to come over here today because, like, you know, my grandpa Cook's not doing very good, as you know, and today is my dad's birthday. And I was thinking, you know, there's old George Jones show, the song, who's going to fill their shoes? We ain't going to fill their shoes, but we'll damn sure make them proud because we
Absolutely, absolutely, dude.
did it. You know what I mean? Like, I was thinking of that, like, who would have ever thought of all the stuff I've been through with surgeries and all this stuff that I end up being a reality TV semi-celebrity? Daredevil.
Porn star.
I did that, and then I did that.
You know.
Hey, I actually wore my Tripod Man belt over the weekend.
You know, from you know, the movie Jackass, coming together and meeting these stunt guys that we booked. They took a liking to you and took you under their wing and turned you on to a whole nother level, you know?
I'll tell you something kind of funny. I've been in Detroit with my dad at these big shows, and he's, you know, won the awards, been all that, and people come up to me and they're like, oh my God, Mike, it's so cool you're here. I want your autograph. And they're like, and your dad, Steve Cook? I'm like, yeah. I'd really like to meet him. And I'm like, he's standing right next to me, dude. Say hi.
Well, your dad's like the opposite, you know?
I know.
And for me, knowing Mike, you know, there was a time I've seen it in action where people have followed us and walked blocks just to have and pull out that DVD and say, "Would you?" We came all the way from England for you to sign this, you know.
Yeah, or like them chicks that followed us around.
We were gonna get in trouble.
We were well on our way to getting in a lot of trouble.
You know. But you know, the fact of the matter is, too, you're an inspiration. You're an inspiration to myself, for one. You know, I cannot tell you, you know, of laying in a hospital bed thinking that your whole life's over and you're never going to be able to do what you love. And, you know, the fact of the matter is, guys like you have helped me build it to where, you know, it's okay to to have a disability and
Dude, and it, there's one thing that I do know about all this, because it ain't always rainbow and sunshine. Like, there's days, and it actually happened to me earlier this week. I was like, what am I doing? Like, whoa, come on. And then, like, I'm actually glad that you called yesterday, because I was like, you know what? This is who I am. Suck it up. I tell people the thing about everybody's life is like this. It's like a yin and a yang. You're going to be up, you're going to be down. The thing about with like what we do is we get to be this far up. The opposite of that
this
is
far down,
that
you
far
know?
down. Like 1 minute you're on the top of the world. People that you thought, you idolized coming up, want to hang out with you. I want to buy you. I want to hang out. Let's have a beer. Let's do this. And then the next minute, you got your dad like, what in the hell were you thinking doing that? Like, damn it, yesterday I was cool. Now I'm not
and then
cool
they
no
punish you because you had so much fun.
more.
I
Hey,
mean,
last I heard, there ain't no such thing as too much fun.
no. And it's like it's like I brought a present, and it's Ask the Reverend Billy.
Exactly.
I mean, with Billy, ZZ Top is one of your favorite bands, and how many times have we seen them together?
Yeah, we've seen him. I've seen him multiple times myself. I've seen him multiple times with you. I got to physically meet Billy the first time on Monster Garage. Since then, I've hung out with him with you. I've hung out with him at the Grand National
And he's a
Roadster
big
show.
car guy.
He's a huge car guy.
Ask Billy.
Well, so the people that aren't watching this can't see what you're what you're talking about here.
Well,
So
They
Max
Can
has
you see
this mannequin head of Billy Gibbons sitting on a desk,
yeah.
and I strongly
It looks
suggest,
just like Billy.
even if you only watch 2 seconds of these
Turn it back around, Max. Turn it back around.
Ask Billy, people.
you know what he said? He said, how, how.
Yeah. And then the Funko, what more could you ask for?
Turn it.
The Dude and Billy.
Turn it.
And for all the people, how I acquired Billy was
From the neck up.
I hope to get it signed
Hell yeah.
by Billy Gibbons.
I want to be there to see the look
October-
on his face
October
when you
28th.
presented this
Me
head.
and you both.
Firelight.
I just want to see the look on Billy's face when you walk up there with a
Well,
head.
we're gonna. That's our mission.
Hey, Billy, will you sign Billy?
Yeah. Hey, Billy, will you sign the
This
neck?
isn't at one of them places where we're going to get watched like a hawk like that when we went
but-
to see Jerry Lee Lewis.
I went to Rocklahoma this year to see Pantera the last day.
And you bought Billy Gibbons' head.
Stumbling through the grounds, there's a booth of nothing but
Rockstar's heads.
rockstar heads and everything, and
It's pretty lifelike.
the other it caught my eye.
Like I wouldn't want to see it in the middle of the
It
night
caught
in my
eye,
house.
and the other ones that I wanted were higher, and there was the deal. I go, well, what's the deal of the day? And the guy's
Billy
like,
Gibbons.
the deal of the day was Billy.
Oh, Jesus.
So here I am at these festival grounds riding around in a scooter.
You're so lucky
scooter
we're Melissa
gang
Etheridge or something like
with
that.
Billy.
So, Alice has a head.
Yeah. Well, it
But I
looks
didn't know
like
that-
one
I
he would
didn't-
chop off.
It does. It does. I don't remember Billy ever being in a guillotine, though.
Billy's going to come on to our show. He's going to come on to the Here's the Deal podcast.
Hell
And whenever we have a discrepancy or something, we're just going to ask Billy.
How?
You got it. You got and if you're having one of those days where you need the blues in your life, the Reverend Billy can supply it. He can supply that.
Reverend Billy.
Well, that is where we will end this episode of the Here's the Deal podcast, the Max Baker Jr. story, Killers of the Flower Moon, starring Mike Cook. October 20th in theaters.
Everywhere, worldwide.